host, Vinny Ali, welcoming you back and hopefully introducing some new people to the show. As you may notice, we're again in an alternate location. We are going through some developmental adventures. That's what we're going to call them. We're not going to call it production hell. We're going to call it developmental adventures. We've had wonderful people on the show. We had Courtney Akison, who will be joining us again, hopefully soon. We had Greg Faber, who told us about his spirituality, and a deer actually showed up behind us at the other studio. That was pretty cool. And we're going to continue going on from there, folks. So this episode's going to be a little bit of updates and some on-set shenanigans that I've experienced over the years. So currently, we are in episode 10 as of right now, which is fantastic. I was informed that if we get to episode 20, we've got something worth doing. Now, the reason why we're going low-key today and last week is due to funds. I'd rather be transparent. As I always am with my talent that come through to talk to me, I try to be honest with them, and I'm going to be as honest as I can with you. So we're going to try this out for a little bit, but we will get back in the studio very soon, and our next person to interview hopefully will be a Mr. Robert Parson. Robert Parson is a director, writer that I worked with Bad Moon Productions. Bad Moon Productions. I'll put a link in the bio so you can look up a couple of works we've done earlier. He was the one guy that I would go every Saturday to do horror films with. It was great, we would shoot all day, and then we would get food from TGI Fridays, covered in makeup. It was a whole thing. And he's doing very well now. He's got a family, he's working consistently, and he's a real gentleman. He's the one who really gave me my shot. He gave me one of the best compliments ever. One time, I asked him, because I'm just curious like that, why me? He said, "Vinny, you are a Swiss Army knife. Whatever role I write for you, you will figure out how to do it." That is a huge compliment to an actor, in my opinion. Because when someone looks at you and says, "I know you can do this, I'm going to give you this thing," it feels really good. So, that's a very exciting news coming up. I recently got in contact with Mel Mack, who is a casting director, and she gave me a fantastic path to follow to success. Because as we all know, he who plans is he who wins. I mean, as you all may or may not know, Batman is my favorite hero because his empathy and his preparedness for everything. So the game plan is thus: we're going to get our finances, finances, living situation in order, and then we're going to get new headshots. We're going to learn about self-tapes, whether through Mel Mack or through something else. We are not sure. We as in me, because I'm my own product. And we will go from there, and then we're going to get on Actors Access, because that's the main hub that people look for casting at the moment. As for the podcast, we're going to keep promoting and keep creating new work every single week for you guys. Whether it's here or whether it's interviews at Emir's studio space, well, he is back. So we can get back in studio very, very soon. Hopefully this week, if not next week. I'll keep you posted, okay? And from there, we're going to keep interviewing people. We're going to do a couple special programs. A dear friend of the podcast, Animesh Karna, is a fantastic writer who left us some wonderful works, especially for me and Lisa Panzer, a librarian, actor, writer, mom, an extraordinary person who we will have on the podcast in the near future, if I can get a hold of her. When you're highly sought after, it's hard to hold you down. You all know that. So we will get her on, and she is fantastic. We're going to perform Touching by Animesh Karna. And if all goes well, we're going to invite friends of Animesh to say a little something about him as a tribute, memoriam, as it were. The thing about life is it's very short, it's very precious, and we should try to take stock of the friends and family we have in the time we have them. So we're going to do that hopefully within a month or so. It all depends on how well the podcast and everything else goes. But I have faith. That's the big thing. I have faith in the podcast. I have faith in me. And I believe in it. I believe in 3 years from now, the podcast is going to take over, and it will be my nearly full-time passive income, if not full-time income, which would be fantastic because I work multiple part-time jobs. As you all know, I work for a company in customer service. I do landscaping for, oh God, I can't think of his name right now. So dumb. I just talked to him yesterday. Richard D. Pietro Landscaping, LLC. Richard D. Pietro, specializing in landscaping and soon hardscaping. Wonderful guy. I work for Instacart. I do deliveries. And I do voice work. Well, and acting work as such. Oh, BT Dubs, I'm actually in a film this coming September, which is very exciting. I get to play, well, I signed an NDA, so I can't really tell much about it. Let's just say I get to play a role that an Indian family would be very proud of me playing, even though I'm Bengali and Italian, which you all would know if you watch part one of the origins of my life. Yeah, born and raised Cat Harpin. Parents are both immigrants. My father's from Bangladesh. My mother is Italian. So we didn't argue about God or Allah. We argued about pasta and rice. So let's just say I've had an interesting background. So that's that. Next order of business, we are going to keep doing this show no matter what. It's a good passion project. I believe in it. And we're going to change things up. We're going to have some video, a lot of audio. We will always have audio. And we were going to just keep things rolling. Oh, on-set shenanigans. So one time let's do an audition one first. I go into audition, right, for a killer, because a lot of student filmmakers want to make slasher films because that's what they like. You know, you write what you like about. So I go in, they're like, yeah, so you're this really nervous guy that's never killed anyone before, but you hire a prostitute to kill. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went in all like nerdy and stuff, and I was like, yeah, this is my first time, with a lady like you. And I made sure I made myself as small as possible. I'm not a small man. I am 5'9", 5'10" on a good day, 200 plus pounds of man. A little bit too much plus, in my opinion, but we get what we get, and we go from there. So I'm like, just this type of, trying to gain a false sense of security with the girl. It's like, well, yeah, you can do whatever you want, just can't really feel anything from the waist down. So it's like, oh, okay. So I take a knife and I stab her. Oh, this is all pantomime. And I stab her again and again and again. I start enjoying myself. And then I realize, oh no, what have I done? And I start trying to put the blood back into the wound. Wound, W-O-N-D. As you all will learn, when I am unsure about words, I spell it out. It's just how I do things. And the director looked at me and he said, don't ever do that again. I really enjoy making directors crack and feel uncomfortable or elated or try different things. On one set for a Competition with Killers audition, I convinced the director that the reason why this guy kills is to protect his family. The better is at his job, the better he can protect his family. So I created him as an Italian man that loves his family above all else because he didn't have a loving home when he grew up. Similar to Othello, he was straight into military school and just pushed aside instead of loved unconditionally like his wife does. And he made it a vow that he would keep that part of his life as safe as possible. So that's a Conversation with Killers one. Oh, so I was on set for a student film ages ago. Part of the reason why I won't name what they were out of respect and because I just forget. I was in my 20s, so I was in the whole, like, I gotta be on set, gotta make a set, itch type thing. And my friend at the time was like, hey, can you come be crew? And I was like, well, fuck it. Why not? Set is set, right? So I get on set, and we're in a friend of a friend's house, and they're trying to set up all these lights, and the actors aren't really doing anything. Everyone's kind of just spread out, doing their own thing, because student filmmakers are always taught to focus on their one job instead of being in the real world. The real world is messy, chaotic, and sometimes you have to bend the rules. Like, oh, I can't touch this because that's not my camera. I can't touch that because this, that, and the other. And I respect that. That's how unions work, to keep people safe, keeps people's jobs good, and their equipment in tip-top shape. But when you're on a student film, you just got to figure it out and just make it work. And with my background in customer service and stagehand work and just all around being an octopus, fixing problems is my favorite thing. I absolutely adore problem solving. So this is what I did. There was a light. They're trying to set up a light, so I found an old ladder. I went to the house parents. I was like, "Hey guys, are you good?" Like, "Yeah, we thought it'd be done sooner." And I was like, "Well, you have to understand. You ever put a baby to sleep? When does the baby go to sleep? When the baby wants to." It's kind of like how a film set goes. Sometimes you just got to ride it out. But if you have a hard time, you want us out, I'll make it happen. No problem. I did that. The actors in the scene were supposed to eat grilled cheese sandwiches while by the campfire. And I was like, well, where are the grilled cheese sandwiches? They should be eating grilled cheese sandwiches. So I got some butter and I got some cheese and I just started making some pretty bomb grilled cheese sandwiches, in my opinion, and their opinion. Because, in my opinion, the best way to make a grilled cheese sandwich is to start with the toast. You got to have good bread, preferably white bread, because I like this. Like Roman bread. Oh, Roman bread's the best. That or potato bread. You butter the sides. And for me, I like to add a little bit of garlic because, well, I'm trying to stay away all the vampires of the world. You grill that, and then you put the cheese in there, and then you flip both sides with butter and the garlic and everything until it gets a nice amount. I made like 6 of them just in case, because 2 for each to make sure they had enough for each take. And I put them in front of the actors, like, "Hey guys, since you guys are just kind of hanging out, would you mind rehearsing and just going through back and forth, getting the lines down?" And then I went over here and I moved a camera because it was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, the students are just focusing on getting the right everything, as they should. They're doing their jobs. And my friend comes to me like, "Bro, what are you doing?" I'm like, I got the actors rehearsing. I got grilled cheese sandwiches done. I talked to the parents. I got a ladder so that the lighting guy doesn't die. I stepped on it so he wouldn't die, because that's the thing. You put someone on a ladder, you always have one guy at the bottom or a girl at the bottom or whoever with one foot on it to secure it. Safety is paramount. Okay? That's my big thing. You have to be respectful and responsible for everyone that's on set, or else you got nothing. Even when I work my customer service job, I always thank people for coming in, and because I literally can't do my job without you. If you have no customers, if you have no crew, if you have no actors, you've got nothing. You got no product. You got no one's going to want to work with you. You want to create good relationships and good memories with people. That's the big thing, because they're taking time out of their schedule. They're taking time away from their family, from their jobs, usually a pay cut, especially doing student films, which is fine, to do very tedious, exhausting, long time work. So that's why I did that. And he was just flabbergasted that I could see all the things. That's my thing. He's like, and he looked at me and he silently said, "You got the mind of a producer a little bit. You know that?" I'm like, okay. So ever since then, I've always enjoyed just problem solving and sorting things out. Ages ago, I was in a student, it was in another semi-student film. They were graduates, but they needed to make a hospital room. So we went to this one part of the house that was completely like white walls. It was perfect. And I set up a IV bag with a plastic bag full of water, and I set the tube and hit it off camera so you could get the sense that he had that. And I dressed the room to make it look like, with the plants and the balloons and everything, just to make it look like a hospital room. And I enjoyed that a lot. I loved that. That was super fun. Oh, and there is a film that I was in. It was a ETI, Extraterrestrial Investigations. I think I have the clip somewhere. I'll do my best to find it for you guys. And I got to room set again. So I was like, okay, if we're going to be in a high-tech extraterrestrial place, we're going to need computer parts, books, and jars full of specimens. We went to the dollar store and we just started buying a bunch of stuff, maybe like $30 worth of toys and crap. And we started just putting them all together. And we had glow sticks. Like, my favorite, though, was a dinosaur head, right? Like this. And I took a second one, put it like that. And I put it in the jar face up, right? I stuck a glow stick in there so it looked like it was glowing. Had a little food coloring. It was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So, someone once explained to me, and it makes complete sense, that the easiest kinds of movies to make are horror films, science fiction, comedies, pornography, and fantasy. Now, the reason is this: well, sex sells, and it's very easy to get a hot girl to, spice up a scene just by, showing a little, little skin, and horror films are easy because you can just kind of gloss over logic. Why would they go into this room? Why is there a killer on the loose? Because it's Halloween. Why not? And you can, or you can make them super like well thought out. Even with fantasy, like, oh, you know, the demons are coming because this, that, and the other. Why? Prophecy foretold. Science fiction. You can science garbage your way around this. How are we able to time travel? Well, we created a black hole. How did you create the black hole? Well, with a space collider. And no one's really going to question it. That's the beauty about science fiction, horror, fantasy, pornography, and comedy. You know, you can just bang those out, and you can just like gloss over it with a little bit of dialogue, or just have the audience just accept it, suspend disbelief. That's the beauty about it. With early filmmakers, they usually go for horror, science fiction, comedies, and fantasy. And I enjoy those because you got to be a little creative, a little fun with it. And that's the beauty of it. You can make a B movie, like I mentioned, Hobo with a Shotgun earlier. I'll try to attach the clip here somewhere, where it's a great monologue, absolutely fantastic monologue, where he talks about, you think you're coming out pretty and clean, but maybe you end up like me, a hobo with a shotgun. It's such a profound thought, in my opinion, and it just fascinates me. So there's that. So another misadventure I had. Oh, I was a vampire in a movie in Baltimore, and I had really fake teeth here and everything, and the scene was they like jammed them out because I was not a true vampire, and they had to pour corn syrup down my throat. I hate corn syrup to this day. It's gross, it's sticky, and it's hot, and it's all over. So I'm there, shirt off, and I'm not very comfortable with my shirt off, truthfully. Even then, even now, it's just never really been comfortable. So this is where it gets really bad. They have a 6-inch blade. 6-inch blade that this woman is holding. It's not dulled, it's not fake, it's not sharp, but it's also not also pointy. They have this woman. She's got long black curly hair, and she's very boopalicious. Like I said, sex sells. And they're doing the scene, and she starts laughing at my performance because I am just freaking out. And she goes, the knife, it gets closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to my face. I am not a happy camper about this. We do that, and then there's another scene where I'm just like, I have all this corn syrup and saliva and gunk just pouring out of my mouth and just gutting my guts out. And I go back to do another project with the same guys, and they say to me, we moved on. What? Yeah, we moved on. We're doing this now. Almost dying on set, or at least getting impaled on set, almost embarrassingly showing off my body to the camera, and they decided that they're gonna move on. I don't get my footage. When you're an actor starting out, an actor in general, copy, credit, food are paramount. You need these 3 things to justify all the crazy shenanigans we go through just to get a little bit of footage, just to get a little bit of experience. And that's another thing that has always frustrated me. People are like, oh, well, you should do it for experience. I'm like, exposure. Like, aha. But I'm also taking off work for this. I need some other compensation to just experience. I'm going to need quality footage. I'm going to need food, and I'm going to need credit for sure, so that I can justify taking off work. Some can view that as a very petty way of going about things, but I think it's a very logical thing. You're trying to make a career out of this, not just doing this for your health. Mental health, yes, but you're doing this because you love it, first of all. As Cordy reminded me. Remember we used to do it just for the fun of it? I do. I want my dog day afternoon. I want my deer hunter. I want my moment where people can see that Vincent Zulfikar Ali, that's my full name, is fucking good. He's really good, and he is one to watch. That's what I want. That's all I want. I want to have my moment of where people say, he is one to watch. Because I am good at what I do. I am passionate about it, and it makes me happy. I enjoy being on set, being in the wings, being behind the microphone, being in the writing room even. I enjoy that. And now in the studio, I enjoy that as well. As some of you may know, I have become a part of the 144, The Chosen Few. It is a hip-hop group that is run by Mr. Judah Priest. He is this wonderful gentleman that I met just at random while working my customer service job. You can see more of the details of that story, but long story short, he comes through wearing a Chicago Bulls hat and wearing Fila from head to toe, and he gets total 90s hip-hop vibe, and just explained himself that, he's making music up the street, and he's a member of the Wu-Tang Clan, or affiliate member, and wanted to know if I wanted to come through. And I did, and I've been collaborating with him ever since. I'm not a rapper. I'm a voice actor, but I'm also a writer, which is newly becoming part of my DNA. I've always been a writer. I'm just learning to embrace that side of me now. So hopefully, within time, there will be a couple new songs out into the ether that will feature my voice work and my writing, which is very, very exciting. So let's see. What other shenanigans can we talk about on set? Oh man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've been on set. But it's exciting, It's one of those things where, like, you hurry up and wait. You get there early, you sit around, you talk to the people, you mingle, you talk, and you kind of network and everything, and everyone wants something from someone. But it's kind of nice when you can just nerd out with people. I was on a pilot earlier this year for an Arabian Nights retelling, and I just started shooting the shit with one of the crew guys about Jason Todd, who's one of my favorite DC characters. Jason Todd was the second Robin. And in the comic books, he was very angsty and anxiety and nervous, and he was not a very well-liked kid, at all. In the book Death in the Family, there was a voting to see if he should live or die after the Joker beats him with a crowbar and blows him up. And the fans decided, but he actually came back. He came back due to Ra's al Ghul putting him into the Lazarus Pit, which is a immortalizing substance that allows Ra's al Ghul to live forever, essentially. And Jason Todd comes back, but not okay. He is very, very not okay. He comes back and he dons the red hood and starts doling out really, really bloody justice. Think of Batman without his code and with guns. Oh yeah, it's freaking awesome. We start shooting the shit about that, and we talk about conventions and playing Dungeons and Dragons. It was just a great time. You meet some real theater nerds on set, which are the best nerds in my opinion. Yeah, I said it. I'm throwing down the gauntlet because because we're wired differently than other nerds. We love to create. We love to work. We love to just, sorry folks, we enjoy what we do. I mean, all nerds enjoy what they do, but what can I say? I got a soft spot for them. I got a soft spot for Batman. It's fascinating. I've been on this path since I was 15 years old, maybe 16, 15, 15, 15. When I first met that girl in drama club, and I lost the girl but found the passion. And it's been such a huge part of my life. A very, very big part of my life, and I'm grateful for it. I mean, there are some days where I want to quit, and I have quit, and I try to run away from it, but I end up coming back because it feels right. It feels right. There's so many nights where, for instance, I'll be working the customer service job, and I'll have like just exhausting time, and then Jude will be like, yo, we're in the studio, want to come through? And it's like 10:30 at night, and I was like, sure, why not? Slam an energy drink, zip on down to the INR studios, and I'll be sitting around just waiting for my turn, and I'll just have my journals, and I'll be just writing. And I have certain pens that I use for different things. I use a blue Bic pen when I'm journaling for myself and writing in general, but for 144, whatever reason, is this black clicky pen. I don't know why, but oh, thought I had it. That's what I use. So I'll be there from like 10:15 p.m. till about 1:30 a.m. just listening to them argue, theory, discussion, other rappers going in the booth doing their thing. And then, Jude will be like, all right, I need you to come up with something. So I'll just go and I'll write, I'll run away, and I'll write. And I'll, for whatever reason, by the grace of God or whoever, I'm able to bang out what I write fairly quickly. Judah will like it, and I'll be able to record it within 3 takes, not that many. I am really not trying to say nothing, except when it comes to my writing, I understand it pretty good. So the other day, it's just like 30 seconds in the booth, not even 10 seconds in the booth for a 4-hour session is worth it to me. And that's how I know I'm going to succeed. Because I'm willing to work a full 8-hour shift, sometimes 9-hour shift, just to be in the studio it's just to be in the booth for 30 seconds out of a 4-hour session. So 8 plus 4, 9, 10, 11, 12-hour day plus commute. So that's another hour. So 13-hour day just to work in the booth for 30 seconds, to me, is justified. To me, it's worth it. Because what else am I going to do? Come home, sleep? No. I'm on a path to somewhere better than this. So that's why we're doing that. So I'll leave you with this. In life, it's very easy to forget how precious life and time is, because we think we have so much of it. We're given gifts. We're given our mind. We're given our body. We're given our voice, and we can use to waste them or use them. And time is something that is one thing we can't buy back no matter what. Death awaits us all, which is morbid, but it's also beautiful because it encourages us to enjoy it and do things that are worthwhile. As I mentioned earlier, with sharpening the saw, finding balance in your life, it's important to be more mindful of how you spend your time. My time has been spent working on my craft, and I wish I did more reading and more writing and spend more time with my family. But I do have time left. I'm only 38. Yeah, big reveal, I'm 38. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life working on my craft, deepening my understanding of the human condition, and being a part of my family. And hopefully create my own family to spend time with and share my misadventures with. As I told my one friend the other day, I would love nothing more than to be able to come home to someone and say, hey, I had a really cool day. And then they can say, hey, so did I. And we share the beauty of our days together, which will become great memories in the future. So, remember, kids, we're not long for this world. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Good, bad, and different. And if you got something that you are passionate about, chase it. Chase it. Work on it. And most importantly, work on yourself. That is the greatest investment you can give yourself. Work on yourself. All right. So that is the end of episode 10 of Pulling Back the Curtain with Vinny Ali. Thank you guys for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future.